Hello, I'm Lara Kulcharsan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. Tariff hikes may have paused for now, but tensions between the world's two largest economies are far from over. 2 weeks ago, US President Donald Trump announced sweeping new tariffs on all countries, only to freeze them for 90 days, with one key exception: China. Tariffs now remain in place at 145% on Chinese imports to the US and 125% on US goods heading to China. Trump says Washington is in talks with Beijing and expressed confidence that a deal could be reached. But when pressed on whether he's spoken directly with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Trump didn't give a clear answer, despite previously hinting at behind-the-scenes communication. Meanwhile, social media users are discussing which country needs the other the most.
China is fully prepared to fight to the very end because the world is big enough that the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction of completely shutting itself out of the China market, be my guest.
Yeah, and China will lose the US market, which, as I've said, is 15%.
We don't care. We don't care.
Fine, America, you don't want to play fair? You want to get into trade war? I can sell my products to other countries. We don't want your stuff. I don't know, but we were kind of banking that you would buy our products. And plus, don't you think that it's important that we have free trade zones? That's rich coming from you. Are you saying that you'll give up your territorial disputes with Taiwan, Bhutan, India, Japan, Korea? That's hilarious, but let's be serious for 1 second. Don't you think that we have to make a stand against the US? Actually, we're hoping that you keep screwing this up so that we can eventually become the leading manufacturer of cheap goods.
Let me show you the United States products in my home. Nothing. Do you have something from China in your home?
Experts warn the trade war could deepen economic strain on both sides. China, in particular, has been struggling with sluggish consumer demand and record youth unemployment since the pandemic. Still, Beijing's latest economic data surprised analysts on Wednesday. Exports jumped, fueled by companies rushing to ship goods to the US ahead of the tariff deadline. Well, it's definitely not what President Trump would have wanted. But Chinese retail giants like Temu and Shein are also seeing a major boost in US sales as American shoppers rush to make purchases before prices spike on April 25th.
Until April 2025, prices will stay the same, so you can shop now at today's rate. We stand ready to make sure your orders arrive smoothly during this time. We're doing everything we can to keep prices low and minimize the impact on you. Our team is working hard to improve your shopping experience and stay true to our mission, making sure fashion accessible for everyone. Now I'm about to go on their website and buy the stuff that's in my favorites because who knows how these prices gonna be looking starting April 25th.
And there's another plot twist from the East. Chinese manufacturers are taking to TikTok to expose the low-cost supply chains behind some of the biggest luxury brands. Social media is buzzing with this information, and the conversation shows no signs of slowing down. And the manufacturers ask the same question over and over again. Did you know your overpriced designer items are actually very cheap?
How to ship goods from China to the US is very simple.
$10, and $10.
Chinese manufacturers have taken over TikTok amid US President Trump's tariff war with China. Numerous TikTok pages are revealing the Chinese suppliers of major Western brands, disclosing company names and websites for people to shop at in order to skip the middleman and avoid the added cost of markup and tariffs.
If you're sourcing from China, you have to know these websites.
And some TikTok users seem to be openly rooting for the manufacturers.
The Chinese manufacturers are the best content on TikTok.
The Chinese manufacturers woke up and chose total violence today, and I've never supported anything more in my life.
For Western brands, these disclosures mean losing sales and supply chain secrecy. As Trump's tariffs drive up prices in the US, Chinese manufacturers continue to shed light on where your favorite brands are really made.
I'm here to tell you that this whole thing with China exposing luxury brands, Lululemon, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, all of these brands, is real. My parents worked in import-export my whole life. Over 30 years they have been in this. Before Alibaba was a thing, my parents were the middleman. American companies will come to them and say, hey, we want these things made in China, and my parents will go actually to China and source the goods and find the factories to make whatever product it might be. Products get shipped back to the US, they slap a label on it, they sell it at, major retail stores. I have known this, that luxury brands are made in the same factory as knockoff. I have known this for basically my whole life, and the fact that this is just now coming out is hilarious to me. Just because it's made in China doesn't mean it's garbage. Just because it's made in Italy doesn't mean it's amazing, and most of the time it's not. So beware of what you're buying and don't just always buy designer things.
Exposing the double standards of luxury brands is coming at a price. Social media users are allegedly paying by having their TikTok accounts closed.
Y'all, the man from China that was showing us where the handbags come from, you know, the main guy, his account's been bananas. Sim bags too. Yup. And I'm wondering if this is going to start happening to a lot of these manufacturers that we are seeing come up on this app and give us all the tea about where to buy direct. Because this is the second one I've seen. And we should have known it was coming. Like, honestly, we should have known because they weren't going to sit here and just let us get all this information straight from the source. They already don't want us on this app learning anything about what's going on in other countries or what the media is not showing us. And I'm kind of upset, though. I'm kind of upset that his account was bananas.
As many of you have found out, once again, our TikTok accounts are permanently disabled. And why does this keep happening? Well, in one of the videos I posted in one of our permanently disabled already accounts, I explained that because I spilled too much tea, I shared too much inconvenient information about the cost of the bag. Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? So that the capital behind those luxury brands are unhappy. And meanwhile, TikTok is spineless. So it's permanently disabled our accounts repeatedly. And it doesn't even give us an explanation. It just says you violated a rule. That's all. I will continue to spill the tea of the cost of bags and continue to make great bags of right prices for all the people around the world.
The battle lines have been drawn between one of America's most prestigious universities and the highest office in the US. The White House has demanded that Harvard University make changes to its hiring, admissions policy, and the way it teaches. It says these changes will help fight anti-Semitism on the campus and has threatened to pull federal funding if they fail to comply. Despite the potential financial strain, Harvard says it will not oblige. Its reasons for defying the White House were boldly outlined on its website.
The way that only Harvard, perhaps, Columbia failed its mission, but the way that Harvard was able to stand up against the Cheeto Man was incredible. On top of that, as someone who works in marketing, I commend them for changing their homepage of harvard.edu. Completely redone overnight. It seems like in 48 hours of a brand new website experience. Copy, stats, links, UX, all of it is done in a matter of days to feature the power of the research that they do and the different impacts that it has in different facets of people's lives. Let me show you. Like, what? This wasn't there a few days ago, and then it goes into this little section and it literally calls out the government. Like, what's at risk? Supported by the federal government. The support is essential for continuation of groundbreaking innovations. Without federal funding, this work comes to a halt. And it outlines everything. It's just incredible that they did this in 2 days. And it takes companies and brands weeks or months to redo a website. So, snaps for Harvard.
The scene is now set for an epic legal battle as America's oldest university contests the $2 billion funding freeze. Harvard is being targeted over the 2024 pro-Palestinian campus protests against Israel's war on Gaza. Trump sees the protesters as anti-Semitic Hamas sympathizers who are a threat to national security. Harvard now faces several restrictions.
Here are a few things that Harvard would be required to do. 1. Deny admission to international students who are hostile to the American values and institutions. Okay, who defines those values? Let's be clear, this is a litmus test. 2. Discontinue DEI. Sometimes DEI policies and programs chill speech, but not always. That being said, Many programs are within the university's right to create, especially at private universities like Harvard. 3. Audit certain disfavored academic departments. Harvard faculty would be investigated and sanctioned if the government believes they engaged in anti-Semitic discrimination or otherwise incited students to violate Harvard's rules. The federal government's definition of anti-Semitism, which Harvard recently adopted, has long been criticized by FIRE for violating First Amendment standards. In short, the federal government would effectively serve as the president of Harvard University. Fortunately, Harvard is fighting back. Harvard President Alan Garber wrote in an open letter, "No government, regardless of which party is in power, should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue." We couldn't agree more. Behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. Until more universities stand alongside Harvard in opposing the government's unconstitutional demands, these unconstitutional demands will continue.
It's Easter weekend, and millions around the globe are embracing the holiday spirit. From colorful eggs to cozy spring-themed decorations, homes and public spaces are bursting with festive cheer. And of course, there's the Easter egg hunt, where adults and children get in on the action. For Christians, Easter is a time of joy, reflection, and new beginnings. While many countries go all in on sweet treats and spring pastels, Norway takes a darker route. They still decorate their homes with yellow and green, and birch twigs are hung according to tradition. But don't let the colorful setup fool you. Norwegians add a killer twist to the celebration.
Norway, you're up next. How do you celebrate Easter?
Yes, with crime.
Sorry, what?
You know, crime, like murder?
Maybe I misheard you. We're talking about our Easter traditions?
Yes, I know. And in Norway we have påskekrim, which means Easter crime.
It began 101 years ago, in March of 1923. A newspaper, Aftenposten, ran an advertisement on the front page. It said, "The Bergen train plundered last night." This advertisement looked more like a headline, and many people believed it to be a true story. This caused book sales to soar. This was the starting point for what is the Easter crime tradition today. Along with enjoying hiking, chocolate, and skiing, hundreds of thousands of Norwegians participate in Easter crime. They do this by reading crime novels, watching crime TV, called Nordic Noir TV, and films. Since 1997, milk cartons even featured cartoon crime story puzzles.
To those celebrating, happy Easter from the Newsfeed team. And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.